Welcome back to Bike Zone Pro, your destination for all things two-wheeled, past, present, and future. Today, we're taking a trip way back, over a century into the past, to uncover the roots of American motorcycling. Forget Harley-Davidson, forget Indian motorcycles for a moment. Long before those giants ruled the roads, there was the Thomus Auto-Bi, built in 1896. This machine is widely considered America's first gasoline-powered motorcycle, and today, we're telling the forgotten story of the bike that started it all. A world without motorcycles. To truly appreciate the Thomus Auto-Bi, we have to understand the world it was born into. In 1896, the automobile was still a novelty. Most people traveled by foot, horse, or bicycle. Roads were dirt paths, and the idea of a self-propelled two-wheeled vehicle was nothing short of revolutionary. At this time, inventors around the globe were experimenting with steam, electricity, and gasoline to power bicycles. But in America, one man made history, Edward Joel Pennington, who founded the Thomas Motor Company in Buffalo, New York. Birth of the Auto-Bi. The Thomas Auto-Bi gets its name from automobile and bicycle, a hybrid term that was as new as the machine itself. It was a gasoline-powered bicycle, simple in design but groundbreaking in function. The bike featured a small single-cylinder internal combustion engine mounted to a reinforced bicycle frame. The engine, producing around 0.75 to 1 horsepower, was air-cooled and connected to the rear wheel by a belt or chain drive. It might sound primitive now, but at the time, it was high-tech magic. Riders could finally travel without pedaling, and without a horse. Design and features. Visually, the Auto-Bi resembled a standard bicycle of the late 1800s, with thin tires, spoked wheels, and a lightweight tubular frame. But the engine sat just below the rider, with a rudimentary fuel tank attached to the top tube. Starting the bike was a challenge. Riders often had to pedal or push-start it until the engine fired up. The top speed? Around 25 miles per hour, which may not sound like much today, but in 1896, it was fast enough to cause a stir, and some serious concern from pedestrians and horses alike. Impact on American motorcycling. Though only a limited number of Thomas Auto-Bi motorcycles were ever built, their significance can't be overstated. This was the first step toward motorized freedom in America. The concept of a personal, motor-driven vehicle was still brand new, and the Auto-Bi helped spark interest in motorcycles across the country. Soon after, larger names entered the scene. Indian Motorcycle was founded in 1901, and Harley-Davidson followed in 1903. But all of them owe part of their legacy to the early trailblazing of the Thomas Auto-Bi. Challenges and limitations. As exciting as the Auto-Bi was, it wasn't perfect. Its frame wasn't designed for engine vibrations or added weight, which often led to mechanical failures. The roads of the time, unpaved and full of obstacles, also weren't ideal for such a fragile machine. Fuel availability, engine reliability, and public skepticism all held back its commercial success. But that didn't stop it from becoming a pioneer in its own right. In many ways, the Auto-Bi was a prototype for a new age, not a polished product. Legacy and historical significance. Today, very few examples of the original Thomas Auto-Bi still exist. But among motorcycle historians and collectors, it holds a legendary status. It represents the dawn of motorcycling in America, built not by a massive corporation, but by a small group of tinkerers and visionaries in Buffalo, New York. Even BMW, Triumph, and other global brands that would later develop legendary motorcycles had yet to exist when the Auto-Bi hit the road. It truly was ahead of its time, and though it didn't launch a motorcycle empire, it did launch an idea, the idea that two wheels and an engine could change everything. Conclusion: a ride through time. The Thomas Auto-Bi, 1896, might be long gone from our roads, but its legacy still hums in every twist of a throttle today. It's proof that even the smallest machine can spark a revolution. As we look at the high-performance bikes of today, the BMW R1300 RT, the Ducati Panigale, the electric beasts from Zero Motorcycles. It's humbling to remember where it all started. Thanks for joining us on this historic ride here at Bike Zone Pro. If you love the history of motorcycles as much as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which vintage bike you'd like to see featured next. Until next time, ride far, ride free, and never forget the road behind you. Let me know if you'd like a matching title, description, hashtags, or even an animated thumbnail idea to complete the video package.